In case anyone either was unaware of or jaded to the vast political corruption tied to Titanic crypto exchange FTX's collapse, well, new court filings now offer an infuriating wake-up call. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Here's the story. Business Insider's Pete Syme reports that in the FTX bankruptcy case working through U.S. bankruptcy court in Wilmington, Delaware, the legal team for the now defunct, formerly adored by leftists corporation recently revealed that company kingpin Sam Bankman-Fried used a digital backdoor to steer investor money into real estate, planes, parties, and perhaps most dangerous to those who never invested with FTX, political party donations. Syme notes that the money pipe ran to Bankman-Fried's then girlfriend's FTX offshoot corporation, Alameda. And from there, Caroline Ellison's team could shower financial influence on politics. Quote, Sam Bankman-Fried instructed his FTX co-founder, Gary Wang, to create a secret backdoor to enable his trading firm, Alameda, to borrow $65 billion of clients' money from the exchange without their permission. Borrow, the Delaware bankruptcy court was told Wednesday. Yeah, this borrowing, as they call it, wasn't disclosed. And as economics students learn is usually the case with government-connected central banks, FTX's secret spending, euphemistically called investment, wasn't backed up with sufficient reserves to cover any calls that investors might make should they want their money. Governments and central banks continue to operate this way because they fraudulently claim the power to write statutes that perpetuate their corrupt activities. But of course, for business, this shady fractional reserve modus operandi is a recipe for financial demise. Writes Syme, quote, Wang was told to create a backdoor, a secret way for Alameda to borrow from customers on the exchange without permission, said FTX lawyer Andrew Dietrich. And he adds, Mr. Wang created this backdoor by inserting a single number into millions of lines of code for the exchange, creating a line of credit from FTX to Alameda to which customers did not consent, he added. And we know the size of that line of credit. It was $65 billion, which facilitated purchases of property, funding of shindig parties, and funding of political parties that placed Bankman-Fried on the number 2 slot of big donors to Democrats in recent U.S. campaigns. And lest we forget, millions in FTX cash also magically came from the government of Ukraine. As I reported for MRC-TV in December last year, quote, a large portion of Bankman-Fried's unbalanced FTX ledger was funded via the U.S. subsidized government of Ukraine. And that facilitated Sammy's $40 million in campaign contributions to Democrats, making him the second biggest donor to the Dems in the 2021-2022 cycle, behind the all-enlightened George Soros and ahead of Michael Ban the Guns Bloomberg. And it does seem odd that once the election was over, FTX suddenly got exposed for all this alleged fraud. It also seems odd that close Bankman-Fried allies and White House advisors were running a secret back-channel communications line. Of course, they were running it until the FTX corruption was exposed. In a December 27th follow-up for MRC-TV, I had the opportunity to report that the cozy pals operating this communications line on Slack shut down the portal on November 12th, the day after FTX filed for bankruptcy and Sam Bankman-Fried resigned as CEO. But hey, why should we worry? After all, the For the People corporate lawyer turned Senator Liz Warren, the Democrat of Massachusetts, suddenly produced legislation to have the unsullied and completely peaceful federal government engage in more constitutionally dubious activity by smothering the freedom of people who want to buy and sell crypto or use crypto as a means of exchange. She somehow was so prescient, she had the, as they call it, Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2022 ready mere days after the FTX collapse. And while this doesn't say anything about stopping secret back-channel communications lines in her bill, yeah, those back-channel lines between White House officials and special interests, it does slam the innocent individuals who might want to actually just acquire some Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Yeah, it invades their privacy, labeling them money service businesses, and telling those innocent folks who often get crypto in order to exchange privately that, quote, not later than 120 days after the date of enactment of this act, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, shall promulgate a rule that requires United States persons engaged in a transaction with a value greater than $10,000 in digital assets through one or more accounts outside of the United States to file a report described in Section 1010.350 of 20 Title 31 Code of Federal Regulations. Warren doesn't mention that her mandates are based on an inappropriate expansion of the Interstate Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. In fact, she is actually using this unexpected FTX crisis to increase the size of government and tilt power towards politicians and bureaucrats, regardless of the Founding Fathers document. Specifically, she wants to strong-arm Americans away from real value-retaining cryptocurrency and towards government-created inflationary, privacy-invading central bank digital currency, CBDC, which is what they want to usher in. Given the cozy relationship politics has had with FTX and Bankman-Fried, wouldn't it be a better idea to get government away from our choices of currency altogether? Yeah, perhaps that would be a good idea. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. We'll follow this as it goes along. It's going to be an interesting road, and we're going to have to dig to get real information. And of course, if you're digging around for videos, please head over to Rumble, because they don't censor us there. Rumble had a great new update. It looks really, really nice. So give us a thumbs up over there and share the videos. Please subscribe. We're still on YouTube, of course, where they sometimes censor us. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and over at Parler. And of course, we'll see you on Twitter. MRCTV on Twitter is always super active. I'm on Twitter as Gard Goldsmith, and I'm on Gab as @Gardner Goldsmith. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.